Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. We've made it in 3 days. We're still here, barely. It's been hard. As an empath, it's really, really, really hard. I've been in the depths of despair, but we're getting through this, and you know what I'm talking about. The inauguration. And there's been a lot of psychics. I've heard different stories. Some psychics are like, I predicted it. It's like, that's great and all, but it's like, it's like when we predict someone's death and be happy if someone died. I mean, that's what this feels like. It's like, oh, you were right. I mean, that's great and all. It's good to celebrate when your guides are right. That's great. But it's also like, yeah, great. I'm not, I've said this whole time, we're on the track of the reality track for 45 to be inaugurated. But however, he did not win and he shouldn't be, and we should do everything we can to stop this, as you would do if someone told you, let's say a psychic, a doctor said, yeah, you're gonna die, you're gonna die on October 3rd. Well, there's always free will, and I just saw 111, 111. There's always free will. So I feel like and my thing was, I was really upset. I could see this was going to happen, but I also always have hope, and that's what I woke up. What was it, Saturday morning or Sunday morning? And my guides and angels were like, "You must have hope." And I hadn't been seeing the orbs. I hadn't been hearing them very well. I hadn't been feeling them around me. And then when I said, "Okay, I'll have hope. I will have hope." There's always room for hope, because there was still time. There were still things we could have done. There's still things we could do. However, as soon as I chose hope, that's when I saw the orbs again. I felt my spirit around me. I started to see the numbers again, the 111, the 444s, all that stuff. So, yes, it's one thing, and nothing wrong with, obviously, it's great to predict things and be accurate, but there was always hope. And I think that's what a lot of readers did. Now, I heard a reader say that people were leaving comments about how there were frauds and blah, blah, blah. Listen, they're divining rods. Their cards were all saying we still had hope, that there was a potential outcome for Kamala. Don't you think that they feel bad? The psychics feel bad? The readers feel bad for being wrong? Don't you think they wanted the best outcome too? So, I don't think we should and a lot of this, you know what? It makes me feel like it is that negative. What it really comes down to is the negative energy of the universe trying to destroy the light. Hands down, hands down. And so what's one of the first ways you destroy the light? You put doubt in people's minds about light workers, and you even put doubt inside the light workers themselves. So then there is no light, because we're here as the purveyors of light, right? For the divine. So I feel bad for the people who were trying. And then I saw a reader say that Kamala won. On the higher timelines, Kamala did win, and she's president. and I was like, well, that's great, but it kind of makes us feel victimized for not being a good enough, for not being on the upper timelines. I just heard we're all in this together. So yeah, let's not beat up each other. It's great that people are accurate, but I always felt like there was hope, and that's what my spirit guides and angels, spirit team, all divine, were saying to me. You must have hope. And I still feel that we must have hope. It's hard. You're beaten. Get back up again. Try again. You must have hope. Well, sometimes I swing from that to to just blatant angry and yelling and at the universe and at the powers that be right now. And I call it the dark house now, because it's been like Darth Vader is in there. You know what he's doing? Okay, let me just say this. Hands down, everything that Trump is signing with his Hitlerish signature, scrawling, kind of like Weekend at Bernie's, just in the signing stuff, It is Stephen Miller and people like that who wrote up all these Project 2025. And he's just signing away, signing his soul away. That's what he's doing the devil's work. No joke. And of course, everything I say here is for entertainment purposes only. And I saw 444. Do you know what I mean? It's messages from my guides and angels, who are not to be held to any human's standard. Anyway, keep going. So I want to talk about this. Bishop Booty. Let's move on to that. But oh well, I want to say he's signing all these things that Stephen Miller has written, all these horrible, unconstitutional executive orders. Really, an enemy from like Putin, a foreign enemy, could come in this country and do less damage in this amount of time. The damage that he's done and trying to do is faster than, I mean, it's just no concern. No, and Bishop Booty, no effect on him. Why? Because he's obviously has no soul. He obviously is a narcissist, and everyone around him is a narcissist enabler because they're in it for the money, and they're also narcissists too. But I would say that Trump is a sociopath. And anyway, Bishop Booty, let's go to that. But it's unconstitutional, and he's being stopped. He's being blocked. In fact, a judge stopped him today and said, this is clearly unconstitutional. You cannot end birthright citizenship, and we cannot hunt down children and immigrants. You know, let me ask you something. Are we following the Constitution where we're at the point where we're going to hide children in our attics? Do you think, is that constitutional? I don't think so. I don't think so. So that's really the question I want everyone to ask. If you wonder if Trump and his people are following the Constitution, if what they're doing is okay, is legal, if it means that we're going to have to hide children in our attics, it is not constitutional. Hands down, that's the line. That's the line. Okay. We're not that depraved. We are not. He may be, but we're not. And, okay, so Bishop Booty, and I call her Bishop Buddha, and she even had the lotus saying in Kamala's lotus, and our, our chakra, our crown chakra is the lotus. That's higher learning, that's enlightenment, let the light in. Age of Aquarius, let the light shine in. She was there to bear witness for a higher power, which was God and Jesus and the divine and all of that. And the light and the love of the universe. That's what the divine is. That's what God and Jesus and all those entities that we call the divine are. And he sat there all glum, and then Tiffany Trump had her head raised like, how dare you say that to us? How dare you persecute my father? It's very 1930s Germany type of behavior. The only one that I saw that looked like they actually had respect and actually had respectable shame was the wife of J.D. Vance. I don't know her name, forgive me. But Melania looked like she was full of hate and anger, and they were all just like, oh, how dare you say that? And Trump himself was like, ugh, how'd she get in here? And blah, 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 blah. Off with her head type of thing. But she stood there delivering the message of God, and Jesus. And remember, Jesus was a man. So whoever you think he was, and he was Jewish, Jesus was a Jew. He was the Son of God because God is the universe. And Jesus is a particle of the universe sent here. He's a star seed, I believe a Palladian, sent here to show us the way, which the love is the way, the light of the universe. And so the Son of God, he's a particle of God. He's a piece of God. And we're all that. We are all that. Anyway, so whatever you think of Jesus, that's how I see Jesus. It doesn't have to be a religious thing. It is a spiritual thing. It's the universe. Anyway, she stood there saying, and I've always said that if Trump had a choice and he had to choose his own self or Jesus, he would choose himself. And the MAGA would too. If they had a choice, would they choose Jesus or Trump? And they would choose Trump. And now they had their chance. Clear line. They had their chance. They chose Trump. So all that stuff about how they follow the Bible and they're against, how they're against abortion and all that, and this is sin and that's a sin and this is why we do this because you guys are sinners and you're bad and you're not Christian, we're Christian, and the women should be here and blah 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 blah, and this is all in the Bible. Well, they don't follow the Bible. He doesn't even want to go to church. He'll never step into church again unless he has some sort of like horrible, greedy, one of those evangelical people. It's probably the only place he'll ever go again. Anyway, so that's, but it was a lesson. And she gave him a gift. She said, here's your last chance to save your soul. Here you go. and he did not do it. Did not do it. So, but she gave him a gift. I admire Bishop Buddha, they call her, so much. And yes, I saw John with her and heard him with her and saw him in that photograph with her. Um, it was a really beautiful message. Mercy. Have mercy on others. And we ask God to have mercy on us. Say, God, please have mercy on me. So anyway, he's lucky that she spoke. I know he went out afterwards and wrote his typical thing. Oh, she's nasty and blah, blah, blah. Who put radical left, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's Jesus would be a radical left. Anyway, moving on from that. I was listening to Kim at Intuitive View yesterday, and I was, as I said, very heartbroken and down and up and down, but just really in the depths of despair all week. Monday, especially, Tuesday pretty bad. Yesterday happened again, but I've been up and down, most in getting better, healing. It really is like a grief. 11/11. And I told you guys, I wrote, and I said, on the night of the inauguration, when I was so depressed, I went to bed and I woke up and I had a dream about Paul McCartney. And it was such a peaceful, and I feel like John sort of sent that to me because, would I rather have a dream about John? Yes, but I don't know, it was about Paul McCartney. And it really calmed me down. Paul's a really beautiful energy. And of course I love the Beatles, so I'm happy. I'm happy. And yes, it was like Paul and I had a date. And, but he was a gentleman and hello, Paul McCartney. So it was like a really happy dream. And I woke up feeling really happy and calm and at peace. And I just thought, well, thank you, universe, and Paul's higher self, and John, and everyone. And I was called to all day on inauguration day, because I remember I was making bread, trying to ignore the inauguration. And I was listening to Paul that day, and I was listening to the song London Town and watching the video over and over on my phone while I made bread. And then the song With a Little Luck. And so, inauguration day and that night and the next day, and then I worked yesterday, I listened to it again with a little luck, and then I listened to Kim's video at Intuitive View, and she said that she had been called to listen to the song With a Little Luck by Paul McCartney. And I thought, oh my God, that happened to me. That's similar. I had the dream, and then yes, I was called, and I remember listening to the lyrics, and I love that song, and I love Paul and Wings and all that. So I've known of that song, but I kept getting called to listen to it. So I did. And I remember feeling like these words have great significance right now. And she got the same thing. So I just wanted to say, isn't that interesting that we both kind of got the same thing? Of course, I had my dream. It was a really beautiful dream. It's true. We're not to give up hope. And again, as I said, don't give up hope. Spirit does not want us to. Please do not give up hope. And the universe needs us to work with them. They really do. So, this whole thing with the ICE raids, again, it's unconstitutional to force Americans in this situation. A foreign adversary could come in and do this, and we would have to attack them and shoot them. And so, then I'm not saying violence here, but I'm saying that's what we would do. That's what we would do. If a foreign adversary came in here and destroyed our Constitution and threatened children, we would take action. But we're just letting this happen with 45. We're just allowing him. Well, thank God this judge and other judges and the ACLU and others are stopping him. And I believe that'll keep happening. But, it's going to be a battle. It really is. I almost feel like last night I kind of got the word civil war, and I'm not encouraging that, but I almost feel like it could happen because, I don't know. Here's my thing. I heard that Canada is ready to come kick our ass and drag him out of the White House and impeach him, and or however that works. I don't know how that works. I know they're mad, and Ireland's mad, and France is mad, and I take comfort in that because we're mad. I'm mad. I was in my car screaming last night because I'm just so upset about all this. And I live in a town where I saw my town on the list of one of the places where they're having raids. And, we just can't do this. We can't. This isn't right. From an ecological or economic standpoint, it's not right. But let's move past that to a moral standpoint. It's really not right. You might be saying, well, where's your predictions, Amy? My predictions are that it's going to be a battle. It's going to be this all the time. It's going to be a tug of war all the time. And us, the light workers, have to keep our voices out there, and we have to keep promoting hope, but also keep on the reality of like them. Okay, here, I posted that thing last night. Here's our job. So here's my prediction. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. I feel like they absolutely should take him out of the White House because he has done worse than an enemy could do. He is a terrorist. But my prediction is it's going to be a legal, judicial battle with people in government and people in law and tariffs and all these things back and forth from other countries. And really, it's going to be a battle. But he doesn't look good. Now, let me say something real quick about Leland. He was tweaking because he was so high for entertainment purpose only. He was literally, his head was like, oh, at the inauguration ball, whatever. And that's not good. And then the whole salute thing he did. Thumb tucked in, not just, if you were grabbing your heart and throwing it, you would make a fist. You wouldn't have the flat hand with your thumb tucked in like Hitler and others did. And you go look it up. And, they're trying to gaslight us and say, he was just grabbing his heart and throwing it. So why didn't he grab it? Why didn't he grab his heart and hold it out and throw it to people? Why did he have a flat hand with his thumb tucked in and have the straight? He did it. He's practiced that. He knows what that is. And even Germany recognizes that what he did was a salute and not a Roman salute. Although you can tie the Romans in this because the Romans were the ones who, ironically, went after Jerusalem and Jesus and all that good stuff. Anyway, Jesus was a Jew. Anyway, so no mistake. Don't be gaslit. He knows what he's doing. I knew from the second I saw X, on Twitter, and he changed it to X. I said, oh, that's a swastika. I said that 2 years ago. Oh no, you're crazy. I got this all day. You're crazy. You're making up. You liberals always lie and you make up stuff. Get out of here. Even Germany knows what he did, and they banned it and they blacked it out. Other countries are blacking it out because it's that bad. But here we are in America going, I wonder. God, it's just, we're so gullible. But we also have a cult. We still have a cult. So he did it on purpose. Hands down or hands up. He did it on purpose. It was, and someone made a good point. So they're calling it, oh, we grabbed his heart and threw it to the love. It's love. Now everyone's going to do it and say, I'm doing this because Elon did it. And it means love. So now they're all going to do the salute. And then when I heard that, I was like, oh, yeah, they're probably, and I got this whole imagery of how they're trying to take all the brown kids out of schools. And I was the first one that said the first place they're going to go is schools. I said that. And I said it as a warning from Spirit. And people are like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. Someone said, where's your proof? Anyway, I've been sending out protections to all the schools. Every door, window, entryway of every school, protect them, in every house, every apartment building. Anyway, I said, I see that they want to take all the brown kids out of schools, and then only white kids are there, and then because I've heard this, instead of doing the Pledge of Allegiance, they're going to do a salute. It's all leading up to stuff like that. So we have to keep fighting against this. We have to teach your children what it means. Teach your children. They're not stupid. Moving on. And I'll tell a quick story to be, okay, not moving on, quick story. My daughter, it's a funny story, but it relates to this. My daughter, who has sensory issues, And I thought at one time they would say she had autism, but they never really officially said that. But she's STEMmed and all that stuff. But she's incredibly smart, incredibly creative, funny girl. But on the spectrum, I think we're all on the spectrum. But anyway, I had her in Girl Scouts for a couple, like, few sessions, and then it just turned into where they wanted us to make money. They had the parents in a back room and said, how you need to make money for Girl Scouts, and here's all the stuff you're going to have to sell. And I'm like, oh my God, it's this pyramid scam. Anyway, and she didn't really have much desire to go back, but she said that while she was there, and they was in a church, a basement of a church, she said they had like religious stuff around, and they played some religious music at one point, and some of the kids put their arms up like they do with these churches, and she accidentally put only one arm up, and she said that she thought they would think she was doing a salute. So even a little girl knows what it might look like if you do stuff like that, if you put an arm up like that. And I thought it was a funny story, because you really thought of that as a little girl, because she's so smart, that she would understand. But yeah, kids know that you're not supposed to do that, or what it looks like if you do. So you tell me that Elon doesn't have enough sensibility? Should he be in charge of things if he has no body control? Give me a break. Everyone who's autistic knows what that means, and they don't go around doing it. I've never seen one autistic kid do that, ever. But I've seen entitled white men doing it. Okay, moving on. 45. I heard this the other day, and I got it last week, and so it resonates with me. He doesn't want to stay in the White House because it's haunted, and they're going to haunt his ass. They're going to haunt his ass. You know how George Washington kept showing up for me, and I've had JFK show up and Abraham Lincoln. They're going to haunt his ass. And John McCain is going to haunt his ass every last day. So I don't see Trump wanting to stay in the White House. By the way, Elon, being a foreigner, should not be in the White House. Would we have Putin just walk in and do all this? Any other thoughts? Well, the only other thing I could say is, once again, I know that they stole the election, and, for entertainment purposes only, on Sunday night, when Trump said, Elon did a great thing. He worked the vote counting computers. That's tabulators. And then we won in a landslide. Vote counting computers. Those are tabulators, which is what I've always said. Spirit told me from the very beginning. It's the tabulators. He had them open from 6 to 8 p.m. on November 5th. A whole bunch of Kamala's votes just ran out like water, and Trump stayed. And bam, 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 Trump wins. Because all hers are gone. At 8 p.m. they close. And then Leland works with Dell. In June, he started to do this thing with Dell. Guess what's in voting machines? Dell chips. She won. And in time, I don't know how long, we have to have guts. I think it will be another country that reveals it at this point, because I don't think we have enough guts here in America, to be honest. In so many ways, as much as I honor and respect President Biden, I am angry that he didn't fight for us. I feel like he fought harder for Ukraine and has helped them more than he helped us. But I'm probably wrong. Spirit showed me that he did a lot of work behind the scenes to protect us. But I do feel like there's a lot of things he could have done that other countries did. Jailed their insurrectionist leader, jailed them when they had tried to inflict martial law, jailed them for the vote election interference, and we just allowed it. I don't understand that. I sit here and I go, why? That's the thing where all of us psychics were getting that, yes, Kamala did win, and yes, she should be inaugurated because she did win, and she should have been inaugurated. And we had every chance in the world to do something about it. Now I've written up documents, and my Dell computer died. When I wrote up that document about um, what happened on November 5th and all the details. So I've suffered from that, in that sense, and suffered just not being listened to. Here's the other thing. Last night, I'm sorry if I sound bitter. Uh, I know you guys are going through the same feeling, so I know you, when I say these things, I know you guys are feeling this too, and that's why I can say this and try to laugh at things, but also, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, I posted that last night where people all over the world were looking up presidential presidents in history, and the MFers, probably Elon, had taken out Biden. So it was double frump. It just, and I think, yeah, that's, why do we think that the same powers that would control Google, and I've said Google's been infected for a long time, especially before the election, but the same people who would eliminate a fact from a fact-finding machine on the internet, search engine, the same people wouldn't mess with elections. You see what I mean? We trust too much. We are too gullible. So everybody got upset all over the world, and apparently it's back now. But you know what? They mess with TikTok. You can't search up Democrats. They made everybody auto-join people like JD Vance and Trump on Facebook and Meta, and people who'd never joined a political party because they had a business and they didn't want to have it affect their business. So they go on, and all of a sudden they're following a radical terrorist Republican Party, and they had to go unfollow. And they do that because these, JD Vance and those, Elon does all that because he and Zuckerberg, because they know nobody's going to follow them, and they have to make it look like we like them. Well, we don't. Look at the inauguration. They said the lowest views, lower views than 2016. And everybody was home that day because it was Martin Luther King Day and they had the day off. See, Trump knows he lost. They all know he lost. They all know that people didn't vote for him. They know how many people voted for Kamala. But the narcissism is just awful. This is why you should never let a narcissist have power, ever. You should have never been on the ballot, ever. And to me, to be honest, Kamala is president. And we have a terrorist in the White House. And I say it peacefully, non-violently. I say this, but Kamala is my president. She is my president. I do not accept these results. I do not accept the inauguration. I do not accept a terrorist in the White House destroying the Constitution like a foreign entity would do. Now he's inviting the Saudis in. They're going to buy up all our real estate because that's what they did before, and he's just going to let them do it. Unless we follow the Constitution, we can still avoid this. Kamala is my president. And if we have to start a second government now, and Kamala is our president that we voted for rightfully, I'm up for that. She's my president, hands down. He is in a shadow president. He stole the White House. He's a terrorist. The coup worked, right? The coup worked. Now he's going to let Jan 6 people, Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's going to let Jan 6 people in the rotunda again. And there's people in there, Congress people, that almost died that day. So, they're going to let them in with their guns, right? These Jan 6 guys, the ones that haven't been arrested already again. These are insurrectionists in the White House. These are terrorists in the White House. Trump is a terrorist in the White House. This was the coup. The coup worked. Kamala is the real president. So if we have to start a second America and Kamala is our president, I'm down for that. And I say it peacefully. But that's where my brain's going. I am not accepting. Because this was a terroristic takeover of our country. So yeah, a lot of the psychics were like, have hope, have hope, have hope, because one must have hope, and we still have hope, and Spirit told me that that's how we have to be. Thanks for listening, you guys. We are going to get through this. And I love people like Bishop Buddha. And, you know, they chose Trump. It finally happened. They chose Trump over Jesus. So uh, now we know. Now we know who they are. If you didn't know before, now you know who these people are. And they're going to be so sick when they wake up one day and realize what they've done. And anyway, we are protected. Remember this. Every time you feel unsafe, anytime you feel scared for children, what's going on, ask Archangel Michael to protect, and ask that every door, window, entryway of every school and every home is protected. And love you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.